welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. Now we are taking a look at the GameStop exclusive Spider-Man Miles Morales from the GamerVerse line. Let's jump straight into it and have a look at what he came with. So he didn't come with any major accessories, just some alternate hands. First of all, he came with two of his web swinging hands, so you can swap him out to do some swinging. He also came with two wall crawling hands, which is something that we as collectors are always saying we want included with Spider-Man figures. And he came with these two really cool, quite unique electricity hands. I can see these being repurposed for Electros and possibly other various X-Men, but they are a very cool hand indeed, and from what I can tell, a new sculpted hand. Actually looking at the figure, the sculpting on the figure is really nice. Now this was announced long before the actual painted version was, and it was quite clear, if this had come out before then, it would be quite clear that the painted version is coming afterwards, because the sculpting on this guy is really quite nice. And considering he's like translucent to reflect obviously the invisibility, it would be a real shame to waste this mold. So as soon as we saw this one announced, we knew that the actual official kind of standard Miles Morales was not going to be far behind. Now what is really cool about him is because he's translucent, we get our first look at the pinless tech in action. Obviously if you're a customizer you can take these things apart, however we've not seen one in action via a translucent figure before, so this was really cool and I thought it was quite nice to actually look at that. I've not actually customized a pinless figure yet, so having seen this, it actually gives me more faith in how well that will go. Yep, just pulling him around. He has all the articulation you would expect from a Spider-Man figure, all in the normal points of articulation, and his little kind of shoulder sort of swivels as well. There's not a huge amount of movement in there, but enough so that you can get into some cool poses. And then obviously he's got his wrists, his elbows, his knees, his waist, his chest, and all the rest of it. Yeah, all in all, he's really quite cool. As soon as I saw him, I knew that I wanted to get him. Now, if you have played the game, or if you do know Miles Morales' backstory, you know that he can go invisible, as well as shoot electricity from his hands. Hence the translucent look, and hence the electricity additional hands. Now, I'm having a bit of trouble posing him. That's not because he's not a good figure, it's just because I've not thought this through, and I've not actually got him into a decent pose. But I'm sure that with enough moving around, I'll be able to get him into a decent Spider-Man pose. I really do love the Spider-Man figures. I think that they're really cool. There's something really quite nice about this one. He feels very kind of slender, he feels very solid. He's a very well put together figure. If you are a collector of Spider-Man, then I would definitely recommend you pick this one up if you can from GameStop. Obviously if you're international, then you can pick it up from places like Hasbro Pulse UK and various other retailers, but in the United States of America it is obviously a GameStop exclusive. Now let's just swap these out and put on the electricity hands, because I'm curious as to how they're going to look. I've seen them in promo images and I just want to have a look for myself. Put them on the wrong hands. Might help if I put them on the right ones. That one's really stiff to come out there. I must admit, with these translucent figures, I always feel a little bit more afraid of pulling the hands out, because you can kind of see the pegs and you can see where the strain is on the joints and stuff. Anyway, back to the figure. It looks a little bit comical, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't quite do it for me. I'm pleased that we've got these hands. I can definitely see them being repurposed, like I said, with X-Men, or definitely on Electro for a photo or something, but I don't think they really work on this particular colour. If I pull in the other GamerVerse Spider-Man, so the Spider-Man figure, the Peter Parker from the original game, he isn't pinless, but let's just put them side by side. I'm going to swap these hands over because they're kind of playing with my mind a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing how these look on the solid coloured figure, so the Miles Morales in his kind of normal getup, because I think they'll look really cool against the black, but against the translucent blue I'm not sure. Anyway, back to Spider-Man. So standing him side by side with the GamerVerse Spider-Man, they scale up quite nicely. He's a lot thinner than Peter Parker. He's a little bit shorter. His legs aren't as thick, so he definitely looks like he's supposed to be a younger version of Spider-Man, like he is in the game and like he is in the comic books. So side by side they look really nice. Again, it just makes me very excited to get my hands on the kind of official Miles Morales and not this this special powers version. But I am, as a bit of a completionist, I am really pleased that I've got him in the collection. I'm just going to put in one of these web hands just to put them all in so you can see them all in action. But yes, as a bit of a completionist, I am very pleased to have him. He would definitely make for some good photographs, and it is very cool to have a Miles Morales in the kind of invisibility stage. Obviously it's a special power of Miles Morales, and I've got over the 5 minutes, but I'm going to carry on just for a little bit more. But yeah, it's a special power of Miles Morales, so it is really cool to actually have a figure of him doing that. Now I was going to pull in some of the other Miles Morales figures, but I'm going to wait until I've got my hands on the other version of him so that I can have the black and reds against the other black and reds. But yeah, all in all, this is a really cool version of Miles Morales. Please do like, share, subscribe. All support to the channel is much appreciated, and I will see you next time.